Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining Black in the Valley podcast, a space for the Black community to be celebrated, amplified, and supported. This month, we are celebrating the women who show up, honey. These ladies are leaders at home, they are leaders at work, and they are sure enough leaders in the community. These are Black women making history and making a difference right here in the San Fernando Valley. And I'm also proud to call them my friends. So we are kicking the series off with a very special guest, Dr. Melanie Marshall, one of my favorite dentists in the Valley and a big supporter of the group Black in the Valley. I am your host, Shania Axius, and let's go ahead and get started with Black in the Valley podcast. Black in the Valley. Today, I am thrilled to welcome Dr. Melanie Marshall here to Black in the Valley. Let me tell you a little bit about Dr. Melanie. So I should be calling her Dr. Marshall, but I like to call her Dr. Melanie. So Dr. Melanie, to me, has her bachelor's degree in psychology from Spelman College and her dental degree from the University of Southern California. She started her career in community and public health dentistry, and after practicing dentistry as the dental director of Pasadena Dental Clinic, she decided it was time to open up her own practice here in Valley Village. At New Smiles Studio, Dr. Marshall's focus is on restoring smiles and giving her patients a new outlook on life. Many patients are ashamed that they've avoided the dentist or neglected their teeth. I encourage them to forget the past and focus on their overall health and breathing life into their new smile. Over the years, Dr. Marshall has gained experience and taken a number of advanced continuing education courses to provide her patients with the best and most innovative dental care. Dr. Melanie, as I love to call you, thank you so much for joining us and welcome to the show. How are you today?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing well, thank you.
So before we get started, I just wanted to share a little bit with you about why I selected you as one of our women that we wanted to highlight for Women's History Month. So Dr. Melanie is my new dentist and I love her dearly. And the reason why I decided to start going to Dr. Melanie is because growing up, I went to a Black dentist and his name was Dr. Guthrie. And even though his office felt like a dungeon, something about it felt like home. It felt like family. So I actually wasn't scared to go to the dentist. I actually looked forward to going to his dungeon, as we called it. And it was just being around someone that looked like us made me feel safe. And I feel that same way with Dr. Melanie. I feel that she is caring, she is nurturing, she is down to earth. She got some R&B music playing in the office that makes me feel right at home, and I'm able to jam when I'm in there thinking about, oh Lord, here comes the drill, but here comes the music. So I'm able to have that balance. So I just think overall that she is an amazing person, an amazing dentist, and this is why she is here. And I wanted to highlight you. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So kind.
Well, so tell us a little bit about what made you get into the field of dentistry.
I always knew I wanted to do something in the sciences. I always enjoyed, biology classes, chemistry classes. And so when I was maybe in like high school, I started to shadow different health professionals. I did the same thing when I was in college. Shadowed a physician, a pharmacist, people like that. And then I've got an aunt who's a dentist in Sacramento. And she said, well, you haven't been to shadow me, so how can you make a decision yet? And I said, Auntie, I really like you and I'm sure you do a great job. But, the breath, smell, the saliva, I don't know if I'm going to be able to overcome that, but sure. So I went and I worked with her for a summer. And at the end, I said, you know what? I do like it. She made it look really easy. Her patients really loved her. She was able to use some of her nice and calm and soothing words to help people be at ease. And that really appealed to me. I wanted to be able to do the same thing for my patients. And I hope that I do.
And you do. I can attest to that. You are the most kind and patient Because I come in with the shenanigans when I come into your office. So you are the most patient dentist that I know. So how long have you been doing this, and what do you think is what is one of your most favorite things about being a dentist?
Well, I graduated from USC School of Dentistry in 2011. And I practiced for a few years and opened my practice in Valley Village in 2015. So we're going on, what is that, 13 years as a dentist. And probably my favorite part is really seeing my patients transform after we're done with their treatment, whatever it is. I place implants. So seeing someone go from teeth to no teeth is really an amazing transformation. I do aligners. So seeing someone go from parts of their teeth that they're not happy with to being able to smile and looking in the mirror the entire time. They're not even listening to what I'm saying. They're only looking at their teeth. Those things make me really happy. And being able to put people at ease when they come to the dentist, you don't have to be afraid of the dentist. And so those are the things that I strive for.
And I know I should have my aligner on right now. I know because I'm supposed to be wearing it 24 hours, but I can't talk to you with them on right now. So I just had to take a little break. But I promise, right after this call, I am putting them right back on.
Okay,
I'm,
good.
and I'm noticing a difference.
Yeah.
I can see the shift, and it's only been, I think, 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's been just a short time. But that's the thing, being able to see some changes on your teeth in just a short amount of time is the part that's really encouraging to people. And I'm able to do that same thing with a lot of the other things that I do in my practice. And that's what's the most exciting.
Right. And why I'm happy that you're doing this is because, like, I didn't realize that you did all of that. I thought I'm just going to go in for a cleaning and that's that. But then when I realized
Mhm.
all these other things, I was like, okay, let me go for it, because I've been putting that off for a very, very long time. So I'm happy you convinced me to bite the bullet, and I'm looking forward to my new smile. It's going to be
Yes.
amazing. So let me ask you. So you've been a member of Black in the Valley for quite some time, and have you noticed an influx of Black patients since you were posted in Black in the Valley? Has that shifted, or have you always had, the Black folks following you?
So let me tell you something. In 2020, when Black in the Valley hit my practice, I didn't know what was coming. I honestly didn't even know what Black in the Valley was. And so in conversation, I'll ask people, how did you find me? How did you hear about me? And in 2020, people kept saying Black in the Valley. And I asked this lady, I said, can you show me, please? Because I searched for it and I could not find it. She was like, no, you need to friend. So we did a friend request. And then she sent me the invite. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I had patients in there who were recommending me. I was so grateful that you guys came along and you really have changed the shape of my business. I really didn't know that there were that many Black patients looking for me. You wouldn't even believe in the very early days when I first opened my practice, I hesitated to put my face on my advertisements because of the neighborhood that my practice is in. I wasn't sure how it would be perceived. I wanted them to at least just come in and experience the practice before you judge me because I'm Black. And so, to have the patients just pouring in, and even my staff are like, what is Black in the Valley? I'm like, listen, when you see Black in the Valley, put some respect on it, okay? Because these people are coming from word of mouth. They know and they understand the type of dentist that I am, the quality that I'm able to provide, and that carries a lot of weight. And so I really do want to thank you, Shania, because without you guys, I mean, there were some really low times in 2020, and when I saw those brown faces come through my door, I'm like, oh my gosh, you know? So it was beautiful.
That is awesome. And can I say that I am so happy that you did put your face with your business, because just walking up to your office and seeing your picture on the door,
Mhm.
so much pride knowing that I'm going to see someone that looks like me when I go on the other side. So I'm so happy that you did that because we want to
one of
see.
my one of my patients who came to me, I think from Black in the Valley, he said, I've lived in this neighborhood for 8 years and I never knew you were here. And I said, really? And he's like, you need to put your face out on that window, maybe one of those signs that go on the sidewalk. He was helping me brainstorm. So then I went to my marketing guy and I told him, listen, I want to do a really big wrap on the window and let's put my picture on there.
It's
So that was,
amazing. I
yeah,
walked in there. I was like, ah, look at this.
yeah,
Look, woman here, huh? I love it.
yes.
I absolutely love it. So, okay, being a being a dentist, but unfortunately they identify you as a Black dentist.
Mhm.
Being a Black dentist, do you feel that people, specifically our people, do you think that they expect a little bit more from you?
You know what? I think they expect the same of me that they do from any dentist. I believe that my patients are really coming to me because they're looking for somebody honest. They want like a second opinion. Maybe they've been told that they have X, Y, and Z problem in their mouth, and maybe they didn't really believe that they had that problem. So they want to come to me for a second opinion. And also, a lot of Black patients, especially the ones who are coming from Black in the Valley, they're looking for a place to spend their money that's in the community. You know, they don't want to go to another office where they might be given the same type of treatment. They're looking to come to me because they want to help me grow my business. And I do really appreciate that. The other thing is they may have received just the wrong treatment in other offices where they maybe weren't explained exactly what their condition was. Maybe they were blown off. So they're looking to me to give them some dignity and really explain things to them in the way that they should have been explained to begin with.
That's awesome. That is a good point, and that leads me to, so you have patients coming in, you're giving them this advice, but you obviously cannot be everyone's dentist because you stay booked and busy. So, what advice would you give to people when they are looking for a dentist? What are some things that they should ask and questions they should ask when they're first trying to find a new dentist?
I would recommend asking what type of procedures this doctor does and what type of procedures they do more frequently. Let's say you're missing a tooth, you want to ask, do they do implants often, or is it just something they do every now and then? That would be a good question to ask. I know a lot of people are concerned about their insurance. Is my insurance accepted here? I'll tell you that in California right now, the way insurances are going, if they haven't increased their reimbursements, then it's going to be harder and harder to find a doctor who's specifically contracted with your insurance. So I wouldn't say that I want you to let that be a driver of where you decide to go, because in the near future, we may be in a position where not very many offices accept many insurances. So you want to go to a place that you feel welcomed. You want to go to a place that does the things that you believe you might need on your teeth. And you also want to go to a place that explains things to you and and explains it until you understand. That's very important as well. There are times when I am speaking with a patient and I look at them and I'm like, you don't understand. So let me say it again, or let me say it in a different way. And that takes time. And sometimes my staff is looking at me, giving me the like, cut, we got to go. You got three other people waiting. And I'm like, but Mrs. Jones really didn't get it. So can you bring me the model from the other room so that I can explain it to them so that they really truly do understand? Those are the things that you need to look for in any doctor that you go to, dentist, physician, anybody needs to be able to explain to you exactly what your condition is.
Yes, and I am one of those patients. Yes, I am the go get the model, please, and show me exactly what you're talking about.
Yes, but you need to understand, because how am I going to expect you to follow whatever I'm saying if you don't really understand why, you know?
Exactly.
So those are the things that people really need to focus and hone in on.
And that's appreciated because a lot of times it's about the numbers and people are just trying to bring the people in, quickly get them out so they can get the next person in. But you actually take the time and you spend that time with your patients to help them understand what the procedures are going to be. So that is definitely appreciated for sure.
Yes, great, great.
So to touch on the insurance thing, I know that that is a sensitive subject and it's a big issue nowadays. But I personally wanted to speak on it because I know a lot of people use that as a deterrent as to not go to certain practices. But for me, I'm not going to lie, I was a little anxious at first when I heard that, you didn't accept my insurance, but
Mm,
I trusted you and I trusted the process and I went forward with everything. And it still was able to work out because I ended up getting that reimbursement check or whatever that check is. So I ended up getting the money back to cover the procedure. And I think people are just scared of that extra step, but you still get compensated for it. So it's not like not your insurance is not going to get charged. It's just a
mhm.
different procedure that you just have to put the money out there up front. So I just wanted people to know that they should trust you, trust the process, and know that just because your insurance is not accepted there in the format that you're used to, you can
Mhm.
still move forward and visit people like you in different practices that have different procedures because it always works out.
Yeah, I think the main thing that you touched on is trust.
Yeah.
And we do our best to explain to people. There's a few insurances that I went out of network with this year, and it was, trust me, a very, very tough decision. But I had to look at the bottom line. And when the insurance hasn't increased their reimbursements since I've been in business, or since I've been a dentist, okay, which is even longer, I have to really decide what kind of quality do I want to provide for my patients. Do I want you to wait 30 minutes before you even get brought in to have your x-rays done? No, that's not good quality to me. Do I want to just give you a two-liner, this is what you need, and then let somebody else come in and do the whole, presentation? No, I don't want to do that either. So I had to put my foot down and say, I don't want this to drive the way and the culture of my practice. So I had to let go of some insurances. And I know it can be tough because I'm talking to my patients in the midst of these strikes, and they're not knowing where their next money is going to come from, where's their next paycheck going to come from, and then I come with this extra blow. Actually, next year we're not going to accept your insurance. I know it was tough, especially for those people who have been with me since the very beginning. But I had to make that decision, and I just made sure that we didn't say anything that we weren't going to stand by. And I told my staff, you can't be obscure. No, you don't want this smoke from these people. You need to tell them exactly what it is, that it's not necessarily going to be 100% of what they paid us, but it will be something. And the other thing is that people don't realize is that when you have an insurance, that agreement is between the employee and the employer and the insurance company. Really, I'm just the dentist enforcing the way that the contract between the insurance company and the employee, I'm just enforcing that contract. So there have been some situations where the insurance didn't reimburse a lot. But that's not us. That is your insurance policy. And meanwhile, other insurance policies, I have one guy, I have his name seared in my head because his insurance gave him back more than what he paid me. Yes. And I was like,
We
wait, does that mean my fees are higher?
we need
Ma'am?
to talk. We need to talk about what company that is. Tell me.
Exactly. I was like, where does he work? And let me see it. Let me see it. I want to see how much he got paid. So there are times like that as well. But for us, we just want to make sure that we're upfront and honest with people. And this is the process. And hopefully you're okay with it. And if you're not, it's okay. It's no hard feelings. It really isn't. Because it has to do with making sure that you're well financially as well as me.
Right. No, it makes total sense. And thank you for clearly explaining that because I think a lot of people just are confused about what happened and how does that happen. But so I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So now just a general question for you.
Hmm.
What do you think it's going to be?
I
How,
have no idea.
how do you maintain a healthy mouth? What's some pointers on maintaining healthy teeth, healthy gums? What are some quick tips you can give us to just make sure we are not rushed into your office so that we're maintaining it along the way?
Yeah, so you don't have to meet me in an emergency situation.
Exactly.
I would say the most important thing is making sure that you floss and brush your teeth. Some patients will ask me, what brand of toothbrush do I need? What brand of floss? What brand of toothpaste? It does not matter. You need to physically remove the plaque from your teeth before it turns to tartar. That's the most important thing. The other thing is for just a little razzle dazzle, some mouthwash, depending. You want to make sure you choose a mouthwash that is not alcohol based. The alcohol can dry your tissues, just like the alcohol can dry your skin. You rub some alcohol in your hand, your skin is dry. It does the same thing to your skin inside of your mouth. So choosing a mouthwash without alcohol. A tongue scraper is also good. That'll help decrease the bacterial load in your mouth. And let's see what else. Maybe just making sure that you brush and floss before you go to sleep. A lot of people are like, I eat candy, I drink soda, and I'm scared. And I just tell them, don't lay your head down on that pillow until you floss your teeth and brush. And I think you should be okay. So those are my takeaways.
Just not too long ago, Dr. Melanie came to our Girl Scout troop for a career day, and she was showing girls how to floss properly. And my daughter, she's gonna kill me, but my daughter, who was 15, was like, "Mom, I've been flossing wrong all this time." Like, sorry, my bad. I'm not a professional, but I'm glad Dr. Melanie taught you how to do it.
Yes.
So even those moments, we got the young ones, the old ones, everybody needs to know these tips because look, we still got teeth. We still have to maintain them. So thank you so much for those pointers. That's truly appreciated. So instead of our usual segment, Shanya's Picks, I want to ask you, Dr. Melanie, is there anyone in particular that you would, if you could, write a love letter to? Who would that person be and why? Is there a
Oh,
woman in your life
Lord.
or a woman that has influenced you? Is there a woman that you admire? If you could, who would that be and why?
Wow, that's a good one. I'm
That-
like, who? I would write a love letter to my mother. Really, she has shown me that perseverance and believing in yourself. I know I'm getting a little teary. I'll make sure she watches this. But believing in yourself and perseverance are the keys to success. I watched her obtain her bachelor's degree when I was in junior high school. So and then now being a mother myself, I realized how hard she was working. Oh my gosh. You came home, you cooked us dinner, you helped me with my laundry, my homework, all of this, and you were getting your degree. Even with the husband, it's hard. So my dad was always there. He always was, very helpful, very hands-on with me. But knowing all of the things that she went through as a mother have really helped to shape me and who I am as a dentist and who I am as a mother. So my love letter would be to my mother.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So sisters are doing it and they are doing it for themselves and they are doing it very well in the community. Dr. Melanie, I want to thank you so much for joining us on the show today and for all that you do for Black in the Valley and the people you serve. You are amazing and I am grateful for you and I am happy to call you my dentist.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I really do appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. If you haven't already done so, please join the tribe and subscribe. You can follow us on all socials at Black in the Valley Podcast and stay updated on all things BITV. If you're watching on YouTube, comment below and let me know what woman you'd like to send a love letter to. And if you're listening on the go ahead and drop me a few nice words and some stars. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining us on Black in the Valley podcast and continue to spotlight those special women in your life. Thank you, guys.
Back in the valley.